Amor Fati, embracing the tapestry of your destiny. Imagine standing at a crossroads in your life, a moment brimming with uncertainty, perhaps even tinged with disappointment or pain. What if, instead of resisting the path laid before you, you could embrace it, not with mere acceptance, but with genuine love? This radical idea, the cornerstone of a profound philosophy, is Amor Fati, the love of one's fate. It's not about passive resignation, but about actively affirming and finding joy in every aspect of your existence, the good, the bad, and the seemingly indifferent. Are you ready to explore how embracing your destiny can unlock a deeper, more meaningful life? Part 1. Unveiling the essence of Amor Fati. 1.1. The philosophical cradle. Stoicism and acceptance. The Stoic philosophy, originating in ancient Greece and flourishing in the Roman Empire, provides the foundational soil from which the concept of Amor Fati would later blossom. While the specific term Amor Fati was an essential tenet of early Stoicism, the core principles of acceptance, virtue, and living in accordance with nature laid the essential groundwork. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, emphasized living in harmony with the cosmos and understanding the rational order of the universe. This understanding fostered a sense of acceptance of what is inevitable, recognizing that all events occur according to natural laws. Resisting these laws was seen as a source of suffering, while aligning oneself with them brought tranquility. Epictetus's dichotomy of control. Epictetus's clear distinction between what lies within our power and what is not is paramount to understanding the Stoic approach to acceptance. Our opinions, judgments, desires, and aversions are internal and thus within our control. External factors such as our bodies, possessions, reputations, and the actions of others are beyond our direct control. Stoicism advocates for focusing our energy and attention solely on our internal realm. When applied to the concept of fate, this means accepting the external events that befall us as being outside our direct influence, while taking full responsibility for our responses to those events. This isn't about resignation, but about a strategic allocation of our mental and emotional resources. We can choose our attitude towards our fate, even if we cannot change the fate itself. Marcus Aurelius's cosmic perspective, Marcus Aurelius, in his personal reflections, consistently returns to the interconnectedness of all things and the transient nature of individual existence within the vastness of the universe. He encourages a cosmic perspective, reminding himself that each event, whether seemingly good or bad, is part of the natural order and contributes to the overall harmony of the cosmos. He writes, "Everything that happens is either just or unjust. If just, then it is in accordance with nature, and we should bear it easily. If unjust, then it is in accordance with nature that injustice should occur, and we should bear it more easily still." This perspective fosters a sense of detachment from individual outcomes and a deeper acceptance of the flow of life. By seeing ourselves as small parts of a larger rational whole, we can find peace in accepting our role within that whole, whatever may be. Seneca's emphasis on virtue in adversity, Seneca, through his essays and letters, provides practical guidance on navigating the challenges of life with virtue and resilience. He believed that true happiness and fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances, but rather on the cultivation of inner character. Adversity, therefore, is not to be feared, but to be seen as an opportunity to exercise and strengthen our virtues, such as courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. He famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." For Seneca, accepting fate with virtue meant facing whatever life throws our way with integrity and inner strength, finding a way to act honorably and wisely regardless of the external pressures. This active engagement with adversity, guided by virtue, is a key element that distinguishes Stoic acceptance from mere passivity. The Stoics, through their emphasis on reason, virtue, and understanding the natural order, provided a philosophical framework that encouraged acceptance of what cannot be controlled and a focus on our internal responses. This groundwork would later be built upon and transformed by Nietzsche into the more active and affirmative concept of Amor Fati. 1.2 Nietzsche's embrace. Amor Fati as a life-affirming force. Friedrich Nietzsche, a radical and often controversial thinker, took the Stoic notion of acceptance and imbued it with a dynamic and passionate affirmation. For Nietzsche, Amor Fati was not simply about enduring what life brings, but about actively willing it, loving it, and seeing every aspect of our existence, including suffering and loss, as essential and integral to our personal growth and the richness of our lives. Becoming what one is and Amor Fati. Nietzsche's concept of becoming what one is deeply intertwined with Amor Fati. He believed that true self-discovery and self-mastery involve embracing all aspects of our being, including our past experiences, our inherent tendencies, and even our struggles. Amor Fati in this context means loving the process of becoming, accepting the path that has led us to where we are, and affirming all the elements that have shaped us. It's about recognizing that our challenges and difficulties have often played a crucial role in forging our character and developing our strengths. To truly become oneself, according to Nietzsche, requires a profound acceptance and love of one's own unique and unrepeatable fate. Overcoming ressentiment through affirmation. Nietzsche identified ressentiment as a destructive emotion characterized by resentment, bitterness, and a sense of powerlessness, often directed towards those perceived as having more or being more fortunate. He saw Amor Fati as a powerful antidote to ressentiment. By actively affirming our own lives, with all its limitations and difficulties, we transcend the desire to compare ourselves to others or to wish for a different past or present. Loving our fate allows us to find value and meaning in our own unique circumstances, rather than feeling victimized by them. This active affirmation breaks the cycle of resentment and fosters a sense of self-acceptance and empowerment. The eternal recurrence as the ultimate test of Amor Fati. Nietzsche's thought experiment of the eternal recurrence is not meant to be taken as a literal prediction of reality, but rather as a profound philosophical challenge. He asks us to imagine living our lives with every joy and every sorrow, every triumph and every failure, again and again for eternity, in precisely the same sequence. He then poses the question, how would you react to this prospect? Would you be filled with despair, or would you embrace it with ecstatic joy? For Nietzsche, the ability to answer with a resounding yes, to so love one's life that one would willingly relive it infinitely, is the ultimate expression of Amor Fati. This thought experiment compels us to live in such a way that we could wholeheartedly affirm every moment of our existence, recognizing the inherent value and significance of each experience, even those that are painful or challenging. It serves as a powerful tool for self-evaluation, urging us to live authentically and to find joy in the present moment, knowing that it will become an eternal part of our personal history. Amor Fati and the will to power. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is often misunderstood as a desire for dominance over others. However, at its core, it refers to the fundamental drive within all living beings to grow, overcome obstacles, and realize their full potential. Amor Fati aligns with this concept by encouraging us to embrace the challenges and struggles that life presents as opportunities for growth and self-mastery. By loving our fate, we harness our will to power, to not merely endure, but to actively shape our response to our circumstances and to find strength and meaning in the process of overcoming adversity. The difficulties we face become fuel for our personal development, contributing to our journey of becoming stronger and more fully ourselves. Nietzsche's contribution to the concept of Amor Fati was transformative. He moved beyond the Stoic ideal of passive acceptance to a dynamic and passionate affirmation of all of life. For him, loving one's fate was not a resignation to necessity, but an active embrace of the totality of existence, seeing every moment, both good and bad, as essential and beautiful. 1.3 Beyond resignation. Active affirmation and finding meaning. As emphasized earlier, the crucial distinction between Amor Fati and mere resignation or fatalism lies in the element of active affirmation, and the conscious effort to find meaning within the context of one's fate. The spectrum of acceptance. Acceptance exists on a spectrum. At one end lies passive resignation, a grudging acknowledgement of reality often accompanied by feelings of powerlessness or disappointment. Fatalism, further along the spectrum, suggests a predetermined course of events where individual agency is largely irrelevant. Amor Fati, however, resides at the other end of the spectrum, representing an active and enthusiastic embrace of reality. It involves not just acknowledging what is, but actively choosing to love it, to find value in it, and to integrate it into a meaningful whole. The role of agency within Amor Fati. While Amor Fati involves accepting what we cannot control, it does not negate the importance of our agency in the realm of what we can control. Our thoughts, attitudes, choices, and actions remain within our sphere of influence. Amor Fati encourages us to exercise this agency with wisdom and virtue, responding to our fate in a way that aligns with our values and contributes to our growth. It's about finding freedom and empowerment within the boundaries of our circumstances, rather than feeling constrained by them. Meaning-making as an active process. Finding meaning in our fate is not a passive discovery, but an active process of interpretation and creation. We assign significance to our experiences, connect them to our values and goals, and weave them into the narrative of our lives. Amor Fati encourages us to be active meaning makers, finding purpose and significance even in difficult or seemingly random events. This involves looking for the lessons learned, the strengths developed, and the connections forged through our experiences. Integrating the shadow self. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self refers to the unconscious aspects of our personality that we tend to repress or deny. Embracing Amor Fati can involve integrating these shadow aspects into our conscious awareness and accepting them as part of our whole selves. This doesn't mean condoning negative behaviors, but rather acknowledging our full complexity and finding ways to work with our darker sides in a constructive manner. Loving our fate can extend to accepting all facets of our being, both light and shadow. Amor Fati, therefore, is a dynamic and empowering philosophy that goes far beyond simple resignation. It is an active choice to embrace the entirety of our existence, to find meaning within it, and to exercise our agency with wisdom and love, regardless of the circumstances we face. It is a testament to the human capacity for resilience, affirmation, and the creation of meaning in a world that is often unpredictable and challenging. Part 2. The practical application of Amor Fati in daily life. 2.1 Reframing challenges. Obstacles as opportunities. The ability to reframe challenges is a cornerstone of practically applying Amor Fati. It involves a conscious shift in perspective, moving from viewing obstacles as negative impediments to seeing them as potential catalysts for growth and learning. Cognitive restructuring techniques. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, offers valuable techniques for reframing negative thought patterns associated with challenges. Identifying automatic negative thoughts, examining the evidence for and against them, and generating more balanced and realistic alternatives can help us see obstacles in a new light. For instance, instead of thinking this setback is a disaster, we might reframe it as this is a challenge I can learn from, and it might open up new possibilities I haven't considered. Benefit finding. This psychological concept involves actively searching for the positive aspects or benefits that can arise from negative experiences. While it doesn't negate the pain or difficulty of the situation, it helps us identify potential silver linings, such as increased resilience, stronger relationships, or a shift in priorities. Asking questions like, what good could potentially come from this? Or how might this experience make me stronger? Can facilitate benefit finding. Storytelling and narrative shift. The way we narrate our lives and the challenges we face significantly impacts our experience of them. Amor Fati encourages us to reframe our personal stories, seeing obstacles not as chapters of victimhood, but as crucial turning points in our journey of growth and self-discovery. By consciously choosing a narrative that emphasizes our agency, resilience, and the lessons learned, we can transform our relationship with past and present difficulties. Embracing failure as a stepping stone. A key aspect of reframing challenges is changing our perception of failure. Instead of viewing failure as a definitive end or a sign of inadequacy, Amor Fati encourages us to see it as an inevitable and valuable part of a learning process. Each failure provides data, insights, and opportunities for adjustment and improvement. Embracing this perspective allows us to approach challenges with less fear and more willingness to experiment and learn. 2.2. Cultivating gratitude. Appreciating the present moment. Cultivating gratitude is a powerful practice that aligns directly with Amor Fati by fostering appreciation for what is rather than longing for what is not. It shifts our focus from lack to abundance, enhancing our experience of the present moment. Mindful appreciation. This involves intentionally paying attention to the positive aspects of our current experience, no matter how small. Taking a moment to truly savor a warm cup of coffee, appreciate the beauty of nature, or acknowledge a kind gesture can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for the present. Gratitude prompts. Using specific prompts can guide our gratitude practice. Examples include 3 things I am grateful for today, someone who made a positive impact on me today, or a small pleasure I experienced today. These prompts can help us identify aspects of our lives we might otherwise take for granted. Gratitude in adversity. While it can be challenging, practicing gratitude even during difficult times can be transformative. This might involve being thankful for the support of loved ones, the lessons learned from the experience, or even the simple fact of our resilience. It's not about denying the pain, but about acknowledging any glimmers of good that might coexist with it. Sharing gratitude. Expressing our gratitude to others not only benefits them, but also reinforces our own feelings of appreciation. Verbally thanking someone, writing a note of gratitude, or simply acknowledging their positive impact can strengthen connections and enhance our overall sense of well-being. 2.3. Embracing imperfection. Finding beauty in flaws. Amor Fati extends to accepting the inherent imperfection of ourselves, others, and the world around us. This acceptance frees us from the unrealistic pursuit of perfection and allows us to find beauty and authenticity in flaws. Self-compassion practices. Treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we make mistakes or fall short of our expectations, is crucial for embracing our imperfections. Practices like self-compassionate self-talk and acknowledging our shared humanity can help us cultivate self-acceptance. Reframing failures as learning experiences. Instead of viewing mistakes as evidence of our inadequacy, we can reframe them as valuable learning opportunities. Analyzing what went wrong and identifying areas for growth allows us to see imperfections as part of our development. Appreciating the uniqueness of imperfection, just as a crack in pottery can be seen as adding to its unique beauty in the philosophy of wabi-sabi. Our own imperfections and vulnerabilities contribute to our individuality and authenticity. Embracing these flaws allows us to connect with others on a deeper, more human level. Letting go of control. The desire for perfection often stems from a need for control. Recognizing that life is inherently unpredictable and that we cannot control every outcome can help us release the need for perfection and embrace the natural flow of events, with all their imperfections. 2.4. Navigating loss and grief. Finding meaning in sorrow. Applying Amor Fati to experiences of loss and grief is a delicate process. It doesn't mean suppressing our pain, but rather finding a way to integrate loss into our lives and discover meaning even in sorrow. Allowing the grieving process. Amor Fati does not demand immediate acceptance or the absence of pain. It acknowledges the natural and necessary process of grief. Allowing ourselves to feel the full range of emotions associated with loss is a crucial step in healing. Finding meaning in remembrance. Honoring the memory of what or who we have lost can be a way of integrating the loss into our lives. This might involve sharing stories, creating rituals, or finding ways to carry forward the values or legacy of the person or thing we have lost. Growth through grief. While painful, grief can also lead to profound personal growth. It can deepen our empathy, clarify our priorities, and strengthen our appreciation for life. Reflecting on how loss has shaped us and what we have learned from it can contribute to finding meaning. Connecting with support systems. During times of grief, the support of others is invaluable. Sharing our experiences and finding solace in community can help us navigate loss and find strength in connection. Amor Fati in this context involves accepting the support offered and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. Part 3. Cultivating the Amor Fati mindset. 3.1 Practicing Stoic Principles. Focus on what you can control. Integrating Stoic principles into your daily life provides a robust framework for cultivating Amor Fati by directing your energy towards your inner world and fostering acceptance of external events. Daily reflection on control. At the beginning or end of each day, take time to reflect on the events that occurred. Categorize them into what was within your control, your thoughts, reactions, actions, and what was outside your control, other people's behavior, external circumstances. This practice helps to sharpen your awareness of where your agency lies and where it does not. Responding with virtue. When faced with challenging situations, consciously choose to respond with virtue. Consider how wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance can guide your actions and reactions. For example, in the face of someone's anger, temperance might involve remaining calm, while wisdom might guide you in choosing a constructive response. Mental rehearsal of adversity. Premeditatio malorum Seneca advocated for mentally preparing for potential misfortunes. By contemplating possible challenges, not with fear but with the intention of how you would respond virtuously, you can lessen their emotional impact if they do occur and strengthen your resilience. This isn't about dwelling on negativity, but about proactive mental preparation. Detachment from outcomes. While it's natural to have preferences and goals, Stoicism encourages a degree of detachment from specific outcomes. Focus your energy on the process and your virtuous actions, rather than being solely fixated on the result. This allows you to accept whatever outcome arises with greater equanimity. 3.2 Embracing Nietzschean affirmation. Saying yes to life, actively affirming life in the spirit of Nietzsche, involves a conscious and continuous yes to the totality of your existence, including its inherent difficulties and imperfections. The yes-sayer mentality. Cultivate a habit of looking for what you can affirm in each situation, even the challenging ones. This doesn't mean ignoring the negative, but actively seeking aspects that you can accept or even appreciate. This practice gradually shifts your overall orientation towards life. Finding strength in your personal history. Reflect on the challenges you have overcome in the past. Acknowledge the strength and resilience you developed through those experiences. Embracing your personal history, including the difficult parts, can fuel your ability to affirm your present and future. Living as if the eternal recurrence were true. Regularly contemplate the thought experiment of the eternal recurrence. Ask yourself, am I living this moment in a way that I would be willing to relive it infinitely? This thought experiment can be a powerful motivator for living more authentically and appreciating each experience. Active creation of meaning. Instead of passively waiting for meaning to be bestowed upon you, actively seek and create meaning in your life. This might involve pursuing your passions, connecting with others, contributing to causes you believe in, or simply finding beauty and significance in everyday moments. 3.3 Cultivating self-awareness. Understanding your reactions. A deep understanding of your own emotional and cognitive patterns is essential for consciously choosing more accepting and loving responses to your fate. Emotional journaling. Beyond simply recording events, focus on tracking your emotional responses to those events. Note what triggers specific emotions, how intensely you feel them, and how you typically react. This practice can reveal patterns and areas where you might benefit from shifting your responses. Identifying cognitive biases. Learn about common cognitive biases, e.g., negativity bias, confirmation bias, catastrophizing, and how they might be influencing your perception of events. Recognizing these biases can help you challenge and reframe your thoughts, more effectively. Practicing empathy toward yourself. Observe your own struggles and imperfections with the same empathy and understanding you would offer a friend. Acknowledge your pain without judgment and recognize that you are doing the best you can. Seeking mindful feedback. When appropriate, ask trusted individuals for feedback on how you tend to react to challenging situations. Be open to hearing different perspectives and using this feedback for self-reflection and growth. 3.4. Embracing the journey. Focusing on growth and learning. Adopting a mindset that values the process of growth and learning over the attainment of fixed outcomes aligns strongly with Amor Fati. Setting process-oriented goals. Instead of solely focusing on achieving a specific result, set goals that emphasize the actions and learning involved. For example, instead of lose 10 pounds, a process-oriented goal might be exercise 3 times a week and try one new healthy recipe each week. This shifts your focus to the journey itself. Reflecting on lessons learned. After any significant experience, whether positive or negative, take time to reflect on the lessons you have learned. How did you grow? What insights did you gain? This practice helps to extract value from all experiences. Cultivating curiosity and a beginner's mind. Approach new situations with curiosity and a willingness to learn, even if you have prior experience. This beginner's mind allows you to see things with fresh perspectives and remain open to new possibilities. Celebrating small victories and progress. Acknowledge and appreciate your progress along the way, no matter how small. This reinforces a positive orientation towards growth and encourages continued effort. Part 4. The benefits of living with Amor Fati. 4.1. Increased resilience. Bouncing back from adversity. Living with Amor Fati cultivates a deep-seated resilience that allows individuals to not only withstand challenges but to emerge from them stronger and more capable. Psychological hardiness. Amor Fati aligns with the concept of psychological hardiness, which comprises 3 key elements: commitment, a sense of purpose and engagement in life; control, a belief in one's ability to influence events; and challenge, seeing difficulties as opportunities for growth. By embracing our fate, we cultivate a stronger sense of commitment to our life's journey, a greater feeling of control over our responses, and a more positive appraisal of challenges. Post-traumatic growth. Research in post-traumatic growth (PTG) has shown that individuals who experience significant adversity can often report positive psychological changes as a result, such as a greater appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a new sense of purpose, and enhanced personal strength. Amor Fati provides a philosophical framework that can facilitate this process by encouraging acceptance and the search for meaning in the aftermath of difficult experiences. Stress management effectiveness. The acceptance inherent in Amor Fati can significantly reduce the stress response to challenging situations. When we stop resisting what is happening and instead focus on how we can navigate it, we conserve mental and emotional energy, leading to more effective stress management and coping mechanisms. Enhanced self-efficacy beliefs. Overcoming challenges with an Amor Fati mindset reinforces our belief in our own ability to handle future difficulties. Each successfully navigated adversity strengthens our sense of self-efficacy, making us more confident in our capacity to face whatever life may bring. For point 2, enhanced inner peace. Finding contentment in the present. The practice of Amor Fati fosters a profound sense of inner peace by shifting our focus from external circumstances and future anxieties to the acceptance and appreciation of the present moment. Reduced cognitive dissonance. Resisting our reality creates internal conflict and cognitive dissonance. By embracing our fate, we reduce this internal friction, leading to a greater sense of harmony and peace within ourselves. Mindful presence and joy. Amor Fati encourages us to be fully present in our lives, appreciating the small joys and simple pleasures that often go unnoticed when we are preoccupied with worries or regrets. This mindful presence cultivates a deeper sense of contentment. Emotional regulation. The acceptance inherent in Amor Fati helps us to regulate our emotions more effectively. by not being overly attached to specific outcomes or resistant to negative emotions. We can experience a greater sense of emotional stability and resilience. Transcendence of materialism. When our happiness is rooted in the acceptance of our fate and the appreciation of the present moment, we become less reliant on external factors such as material possessions or social status for our well-being, leading to a more sustainable and internal source of peace. For point 3, deeper meaning and purpose. Embracing your unique journey. By encouraging the embrace of our entire life journey, with all its complexities, Amor Fati facilitates the discovery of a deeper and more personal sense of meaning and purpose. Narrative coherence and identity. Integrating all aspects of our lives, including challenges and triumphs, into a coherent personal narrative strengthens our sense of identity and meaning. Amor Fati helps us to see how different experiences have shaped who we are and the unique contributions we can make. Values-driven living. Embracing our fate can lead to a clearer understanding of our core values. When we accept our experiences and reflect on how we have responded to them, we gain insights into what truly matters to us, guiding us towards a more values-driven and purposeful life. Finding purpose in service and connection. Often, the challenges we overcome can equip us with unique empathy and insights that allow us to connect with and serve others who are facing similar difficulties. Embracing our own journey can thus lead to a profound sense of purpose through helping others. Legacy and contribution. When we accept our lives fully and find meaning within them, we are more likely to focus on leaving a positive legacy and making meaningful contributions to the world, driven by an authentic sense of purpose. 4.4 Stronger relationships. Cultivating empathy and connection. The principles of Amor Fati, particularly acceptance and non-resistance, can significantly enhance our relationships with others by fostering empathy, understanding, and deeper connection. Non-judgmental acceptance. When we practice accepting our own imperfections and life circumstances, we become more accepting and less judgmental of others and their choices. This creates a more supportive and understanding relational environment. Active listening and empathy. Amor Fati encourages us to be present and accepting of our own experiences, which translates to being more present and empathetic listeners for others. We become better able to understand their perspectives and validate their feelings without trying to fix or change them. Vulnerability and authenticity. Embracing our own vulnerabilities and accepting our true selves allows us to be more authentic in our relationships, fostering deeper trust and connection. Sharing our struggles, framed within a context of acceptance and growth, can create stronger bonds with others. Forgiveness and letting go. Holding on to resentment and bitterness towards others can be detrimental to relationships and our own well-being. Amor Fati encourages acceptance of the past and the ability to forgive ourselves and others, allowing for healing and stronger connections. Part 5. Potential challenges and misinterpretations of Amor Fati. 5.1 The risk of passivity. Confusing acceptance with resignation. The nuanced distinction between active acceptance and passive resignation is crucial to understanding and applying Amor Fati effectively. Misinterpreting acceptance as a call to inaction can lead to stagnation and a failure to exercise agency where it is possible and necessary. The spectrum of action within acceptance. Acceptance does not preclude action. In fact, true acceptance can often provide the clarity and emotional stability needed to take effective action. The key lies in discerning what can be changed and what must be accepted. We can accept the reality of a challenging situation while still actively working to improve it or our response to it. Identifying areas of agency. A core skill in applying Amor Fati is the ability to clearly identify the areas in our lives where we have genuine agency. This includes our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, choices, and behaviors. Focusing our energy on these areas allows us to be proactive and avoid the trap of feeling helpless in the face of uncontrollable circumstances. The role of values in action. Our values should guide our actions, even within a framework of acceptance. Amor Fati does not suggest accepting injustice or harm. Instead, It encourages us to act in accordance with our values, while accepting the reality of the situation we are in. This might involve working for change while accepting the current state of affairs. Avoiding learned helplessness. Passivity can sometimes stem from learned helplessness, a psychological state where individuals believe they have no control over negative events. Amor Fati, when properly understood, can counteract this by emphasizing our internal locus of control, our ability to choose our responses and find meaning even in difficult situations. 5.2 The danger of toxic positivity. Ignoring genuine pain. A significant misinterpretation of Amor Fati can lead to the harmful practice of toxic positivity, where genuine negative emotions are dismissed and validated, or suppressed in favor of a forced and often unrealistic optimism. The importance of emotional validation. Authentic Amor Fati acknowledges the full spectrum of human emotions, including pain, sadness, anger, and fear. It does not require us to pretend to be happy or grateful when we are genuinely suffering. Validating our own and others' emotions is a crucial aspect of emotional well-being and healthy application of this philosophy. Processing grief and trauma. In the context of loss, trauma, or significant suffering, Amor Fati is not a call to quickly move on or look on the bright side. It involves allowing ourselves to fully process our experiences, to grieve, and to heal at our own pace. Premature attempts at forced positivity can hinder this natural and necessary process. Authenticity over superficially positive language. True Amor Fati is rooted in authentic acceptance of reality, not in the superficial use of positive affirmations to mask underlying pain. It's about acknowledging the truth of our experiences while still striving to find meaning and growth within them. Recognizing the difference between acceptance and approval. Accepting that something has happened or that we are feeling a certain way does not mean we approve of it. We can accept the reality of a negative situation without condoning it. This distinction is important in avoiding the trap of toxic positivity. 5.3 The difficulty of application in extreme circumstances. Applying the principles of Amor Fati can be exceptionally challenging when faced with extreme suffering, trauma, systemic injustice, or profound loss. In such situations, the focus must often be on immediate safety, support, and healing. Prioritizing safety and well-being. In situations of abuse, violence, or immediate danger, the priority must be safety and seeking help. Amor Fati does not advocate for passively accepting harm. The role of professional support. Trauma and severe suffering often require the guidance and support of mental health professionals. Therapy and other forms of professional help can provide essential tools for processing difficult experiences and finding a path toward healing and integration. Gradual integration of acceptance. The process of finding acceptance and meaning in extreme suffering is often a long and arduous one. It may involve periods of intense pain, anger, and resistance. Amor Fati in these contexts is not a quick fix, but a potential long-term framework for integrating these experiences into one's life narrative. The importance of advocacy and change. Accepting the reality of systemic injustice does not preclude working to change it. In fact, a clear-eyed acceptance of the current situation can fuel a more effective and sustainable commitment to advocacy and social change. Part 6. Amor Fati in action. Examples throughout history and life. 6.1 Historical figures embracing their fate. Examining the lives of historical figures can provide profound insights into how the principles of Amor Fati have been embodied in the face of extraordinary circumstances. Epictetus, revisited as a former slave who rose to become a renowned Stoic philosopher. Epictetus's life itself is a testament to Amor Fati. Despite enduring hardship and physical limitations, he focused entirely on what was within his control, his thoughts and his philosophical practice, and found freedom and fulfillment within those constraints. His teachings, emphasizing acceptance of what we cannot control, directly reflect the core of Amor Fati. Helen Keller. Despite being deaf and blind from a young age, Helen Keller not only learned to communicate, but became a world-renowned author activist, and lecturer. Her unwavering determination to learn and contribute to society, despite immense challenges, exemplifies a powerful embrace of her fate and a focus on what she could achieve rather than what she lacked. Stephen Hawking, diagnosed with ALS at a young age and given only a few years to live. Stephen Hawking went on to become one of the most brilliant theoretical physicists of the 20th and 21st centuries. His remarkable intellectual achievements and his continued engagement with life despite his debilitating illness demonstrate a profound acceptance of his physical limitations and a passionate dedication to his intellectual pursuits. Malala Yousafzai, surviving a targeted assassination attempt for advocating for girls' education. Malala Yousafzai has become a global symbol of resilience and the power of education. Her unwavering commitment to her cause, despite the immense personal risk and trauma she endured, reflects a powerful embrace of her fate and a determination to use her experiences to make a positive impact on the world. These individuals, through their responses to significant adversity, demonstrate the active embrace of their circumstances, a focus on their agency within those circumstances, and a remarkable ability to find meaning and purpose despite profound challenges. 6.2. Everyday examples of loving your fate. The principles of Amor Fati are not limited to extraordinary lives. They can be observed in the everyday responses of individuals navigating the common challenges of life, dealing with job loss. Instead of succumbing to despair and resentment, an individual embracing Amor Fati might accept the reality of the job loss, focus on their transferable skills, actively seek new opportunities, and view the experience as a potential turning point leading to a more fulfilling career path. Navigating chronic illness. A person living with a chronic illness might accept their condition, focus on managing their symptoms effectively, find ways to adapt and live fully within their limitations, and perhaps even find purpose in connecting with and supporting others with similar conditions. Coping with relationship difficulties. Instead of dwelling on blame or wishing for a different past, individuals practicing Amor Fati in relationships might accept the current dynamics, focus on their own communication and behavior, and work towards resolution or acceptance of the relationship's reality. Responding to unexpected setbacks. When faced with minor setbacks like a delayed flight or a canceled plan, someone embracing Amor Fati might accept the inconvenience without undue frustration, adapt their plans, and find ways to make the best of the unexpected situation. Embracing the aging process. Revisited instead of resisting the natural changes that come with age. An individual practicing Amor Fati might embrace the wisdom and experiences gained, focus on maintaining their health and well-being, and find new joys and purposes in later life. These everyday examples illustrate how the principles of acceptance, focus on agency, and the search for meaning can be applied to navigate the ordinary challenges and transitions of life with greater resilience and peace. Part 7. Integrating Amor Fati into your life. Practical steps. 7.1. Start with acceptance. Acknowledge reality. The foundation of Amor Fati lies in a radical acceptance of what is. This isn't a passive resignation, but an active acknowledgement of the present moment without resistance or denial. Mindful observation of thoughts and feelings. Begin by simply observing your thoughts and feelings about a situation without judgment. Notice your initial reactions, your desires for things to be different, and your resistance to the current reality. This mindful observation creates space between your immediate reaction and your conscious response. Distinguishing facts from interpretations. Often, our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our interpretations of those events. Practice separating the objective facts of a situation from your subjective judgments and evaluations. For example, I lost my job as a fact. This is a catastrophe, and my life is over as an interpretation. Radical acceptance of unchangeable pasts. The past cannot be altered. Practicing radical acceptance involves acknowledging past events, even painful ones, without wishing they were different. This doesn't mean condoning harm, but accepting that the past has shaped the present and focusing your energy on how to move forward. Acceptance of others as they are, just as we strive to accept our own imperfections. Extending that acceptance to others with their flaws and limitations can significantly improve our relationships and inner peace. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior, but accepting that others will have different perspectives and make different choices. 7.2. Cultivate gratitude. Find the good. Actively cultivating gratitude rewires our brains to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, even amidst challenges, aligning with the core of Amor Fati's affirmation of existence. The 3 good things exercise. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things that went well or that you are grateful for. This simple practice can shift your focus from what went wrong to what went right. Savoring positive experiences. When something good happens, take the time to fully savor the experience. Engage all your senses and allow yourself to feel the joy and appreciation fully. This strengthens the positive impact of these moments. Expressing gratitude to others directly and indirectly. Make a conscious effort to thank people who have helped you or who bring positivity to your life. You can do this verbally, in writing, or even through small acts of kindness. Finding gratitude in small things. Train yourself to notice and appreciate the small, often overlooked aspects of daily life. A warm shower, a sunny day, a good cup of coffee. These small moments of gratitude can accumulate and significantly enhance your overall sense of well-being. 7.3. Reframe your thoughts. Change your perspective. The way we think about our circumstances profoundly impacts our emotional experience. Consciously reframing negative or limiting thoughts is a powerful tool for embracing Amor Fati. Identifying and challenging negative automatic thoughts. Nats become aware of the negative thoughts that automatically arise in response to challenging situations. Question the validity of these thoughts. What evidence supports them? What evidence contradicts them? Generating alternative perspectives. Once you've challenged a negative thought, try to generate alternative, more balanced and realistic perspectives. Could there be another way of looking at the situation? What are the potential positive outcomes or lessons to be learned? Using affirmations mindfully. While avoiding toxic positivity, the mindful use of positive affirmations can help to shift your mindset over time. Focus on affirmations that are realistic and that emphasize your strengths, resilience, and ability to cope. Focusing on controllables. When faced with a problem, shift your mental energy from worrying about what you can't control to focusing on what actions you can take within your sphere of influence. This proactive approach fosters a sense of agency. 7.4. Practice mindfulness. Be present. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is a powerful tool for cultivating acceptance and appreciating the reality of your fate as it unfolds. Mindful breathing exercises. Regular practice of focusing on your breath can anchor you to the present moment and help to calm a racing mind. Even a few minutes of mindful breathing each day can make a difference. Body scan meditations. Bringing mindful awareness to different parts of your body can help you connect with your physical sensations in the present moment, fostering a greater sense of embodiment and acceptance of your physical reality. Mindful walking. Paying attention to the sensations of walking, the feeling of your feet on the ground, the movement of your body, can transform a mundane activity into a practice of presence. Applying mindfulness to daily activities. Bring conscious awareness to everyday tasks like eating, washing dishes, or listening to someone speak. Fully engaging in the present moment can enhance your appreciation of these experiences. 7.5. Embrace imperfection. Be kind to yourself. Extending the acceptance of imperfection to yourself is crucial for cultivating Amor Fati. Self-compassion allows us to navigate our flaws and mistakes with kindness rather than harsh judgment. Self-compassionate self-talk. When you make a mistake or experience a setback, talk to yourself as you would talk to a dear friend in the same situation, with understanding, kindness, and encouragement. Recognizing common humanity. Remind yourself that imperfection is a universal human experience. Everyone makes mistakes, faces challenges, and has flaws. This recognition of our shared humanity fosters a sense of connection and reduces feelings of isolation. Practicing self-forgiveness. When you have wronged yourself or others, practice self-forgiveness. Acknowledge your actions, learn from them, and release self-blame. Setting realistic expectations. Avoid holding yourself to unrealistic standards of perfection. Recognize that growth is a process that involves trial and error. 7.6 Find meaning in challenges. Seek growth. Actively seeking meaning and opportunities for growth within challenging experiences aligns deeply with Amor Fati's affirmation of all aspects of life. Journaling about lessons learned. After navigating a difficult situation, take time to reflect in a journal about the lessons you learned, the strengths you discovered, and how the experience has shaped you. Mentorship and sharing experiences. Sharing your experiences and the lessons you've learned with others can not only provide support, but also reinforce the meaning you found in your own challenges. Focusing on contribution. Often, the challenges we overcome equip us with unique empathy and insights that allow us to contribute to the well-being of others facing similar difficulties. Finding ways to give back can be a powerful source of meaning. Viewing life as a continuous learning process. Adopt the perspective that life is a continuous journey of learning and growth. See challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to expand your understanding of yourself and the world. By consistently applying these practical steps, you can gradually cultivate an Amor Fati mindset, leading to a more accepting, resilient, and meaningful engagement with your life. Conclusion: deep wisdom and the enduring power of Amor Fati. In our journey through the intricate landscape of Amor Fati, we have uncovered a profound philosophy that transcends mere acceptance, inviting us to embrace the entirety of our existence with a deep and affirmative love. This isn't a call to blind optimism or passive resignation, but a dynamic and courageous stance towards the tapestry of our lives, woven with threads of both joy and sorrow, triumph and tribulation. As the guiding principle of deep wisdom, Amor Fati encourages us to look beyond superficial judgments of good and bad, recognizing that every experience, every twist and turn of fate, contributes to the unique and unfolding narrative of who we are. It echoes the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, urging us to discern what lies within our control and to cultivate virtue in the face of what does not. Yet it resonates with Nietzsche's passionate affirmation of life, urging us to not just endure, but to actively will our experiences, finding strength and beauty in their necessity. The practical application of Amor Fati transforms our daily lives. It empowers us to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth, to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment, to embrace our inherent imperfections with kindness, and to find meaning even in the depths of loss. By focusing on what we can control, actively saying yes to life, cultivating self-awareness, and embracing the journey of continuous learning, we can cultivate an Amor Fati mindset that fosters resilience, inner peace, deeper meaning, and stronger connections with others. While the path of Amor Fati may present challenges, requiring us to navigate the fine line between acceptance and passivity, and to avoid the trap of toxic positivity, its rewards are immeasurable. By embracing our fate, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of resistance and regret, stepping into a more authentic and empowered way of being. The lives of historical figures who faced immense adversity with grace and determination serve as powerful testaments to the transformative power of this philosophy. Moreover, the everyday examples of individuals navigating life's challenges with acceptance and resilience remind us that Amor Fati is not an abstract ideal, but a practical guide for living a more fulfilling life. As you continue your journey with deep wisdom, may the principles of Amor Fati illuminate your path. May you find the strength to acknowledge reality with clarity, the heart to cultivate gratitude in all circumstances, the wisdom to reframe your thoughts, the presence to savor each moment, the compassion to embrace your imperfections, and the courage to seek growth in every challenge. For within the embrace of our fate, with all its inherent complexities and unexpected turns, lies the potential for profound self-discovery, unwavering resilience, and a deep and abiding love for the life that is uniquely ours. This is the deep wisdom of Amor Fati, to not just accept your fate, but to love it. For in that love lies the key to a truly meaningful and empowered existence. Thank you for exploring this profound wisdom with deep wisdom. May your journey be one of increasing acceptance, profound love for your fate, and ever-deepening wisdom.